Okay, so we have with us here
Santino.
with the car number 54 to answer some of our questions. First question, what type of car are you running? Do you race multiple cars?
I only run this division. This division's called the Pro Stock division here. I got 2 of these cars, but we just run this here Saturday nights.
And our next question, how many years have you been racing at Lebanon Valley for?
I would have to say it's probably my 8th year racing here at Lebanon Valley. We started in the street stocks and then worked our way up to this next division, the Pro Stocks.
And how many career wins do you have at Lebanon Valley?
I think I have 17 total. I have 9 in this division and 8 in the other division with the street stocks. But yeah, we have a total of 9 in the Pro Stock division alone.
Did anyone in your family race before you?
Yeah, both my parents, my mother and father, actually grew up racing at this track in the mid-90s. They were working on cars, racing here, and back then was the cannonball class. So my whole life I've been here watching them race, but then we got started, like I said, about 8 years ago.
Who taught you how to race?
I don't know if anyone really taught me. It was a lot of watching, being over here every Saturday night, watching people drive, playing on the simulators, playing on, go-karts and stuff. It's not really something you're taught. It's more or less you're apt to either catch it or you don't. It's definitely a racing bug that we have here.
Yeah. Where did you start racing for the first time?
Was right here at Lebanon. We bought a car and then we worked on it all winter and then started in the spring racing right here.
Do you race full-time or is it more of a hobby you have?
Unfortunately, it's a hobby, but we do race full-time. We had 34 races on our schedule this year. Obviously, we had 5 or 6 rainouts, but we race here every Saturday, and then there's 11 races, what we call the series, where we travel all over the Northeast and go to Canada twice to race.
What's the biggest highlight of your career so far?
I would have to say winning the championship in this division last year. It came down to the last night. We were fortunate, not fortunate for a second place guy. We went out for warm-ups and then the skies opened up and it downpoured. So we won the championship by 2 points with not even having to race the last week.
Have you ever had a serious crash? How much damage did you and your car experience?
Yes. I mean, I haven't flipped, I haven't rolled, I haven't caught on fire per se, so it's lucked out for me that way. But I've wrecked some frames, I've bent some clips, we've replaced a lot of body panels before. So yeah, I've had some wrecks, not as bad as some people, but I've had my fair share.
What's the biggest last-minute fix you pulled off?
Probably last week we were here, we had to switch all the rear brake components out because they were seizing up during our heat race. So we had to, the whole team worked, bust their butts off to pull the brakes apart and replace all the calipers in the rear to race for our feature race last week.
Do you have a specific strategy for dirt tracks?
Stay out of the wall, go as fast as you can, as quick as possible, but have fun. My family's here, it's a family sport. Just try to go where they're not and make the most out of it.
Do you have footage of your races and do you watch them to improve?
Too much so. I'll leave here in the middle of the night or after the race is done. I'll probably be up for another hour watching the race again and just re-downloading everything I remembered and seeing it from a third perspective of how the race went and what we could do differently for the following week.
What's something that fans do not realize about dirt track racing?
How expensive it is to be here every week. As much as the track, the announcers emphasize on the driver, but it's me plus my 8 crew members. They all have a dollar figure amount attached to them. So it's the expense of dirt track racing is just up there like any other professional sports or hobbies, because it is expensive to do this.
And finally, is there anything you would like to add?
Well, I appreciate your guys' time for being out here. I'd like to thank all my marketing partners, my family, my father, all my crew for all their help, and we'll see what we can do tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have with us here.
My name is Brett Haas, driver of the number 55 Big Block Modified and number 17 Small Block Modified.
And he's here to answer some of our questions. What type of car are you running? Do you have multiple cars?
Yeah, so the car behind us is our Big Block, the white car. That's my family-owned car, and then we run for Jim Winchell, the number 17 Small Block Modified. So we run 2 cars here weekly, as long as we don't get rained out.
How many years have you been racing at Lebanon Valley for?
I started in 2008, so however many years, 2025 today, so however many years that is, but I was 14 when I started in the open sportsman class, and so it's been quite a while.
How many career wins do you have at Lebanon Valley?
I don't know exactly. I think I'm somewhere around 25 or 30 between open sportsman, modified, and 358s.
Did anyone in your family race before you?
Yeah, actually both my parents raced, and they won on the same night one time. My father raced pro stocks from I think 1991 to full-time until 98 or 99, and then a few times in between. And my mom raced the cannonball class that they have. And they, like I said, they went on the first husband and wife to win on the same night, and then and then I started racing go-karts in 2005, and started racing here in 2008.
Nice. Who taught you how to race?
A little bit of everyone. Obviously my parents taught me what I need to learn and how to drive around. But you learn a little bit from everyone, talking to people, and they'll give you their words of advice on how to drive, different driving styles, and basically you just have to adapt to what fits you the best and what you feel most comfortable with.
Do you race full time, or is it just more of a hobby?
No, more of a hobby. It feels full time with how much work goes into it, even during the weeks. Almost all of our Sundays are filled up with washing the car. Saturday mornings and all Saturdays are filled up at the track, and we actually used to race the short track super series a few years ago, which is a touring division. And we'd pretty much be in the garage or at a racetrack 6 out of 7 nights a week, so it was a lot. But no, I work full time. I work at the courts, Massachusetts courts, and I do real estate as well. So definitely busy, but not full time.
What's the biggest highlight of your career so far?
There's a lot. I would say there's a lot. The other night, we won actually both classes at the same night. We won big block and small block, which only 6 people have done that. I was the 6th person in track history to do that. So that was very special to me because not many people get to do that. But we won the 358 championship a few years ago. And then last year we won, I think, almost every big money race between the big block and small block. And we came up 1 lap short of our first big block championship. So last year was very special, but we've had a couple good years. And so there isn't one specific moment, but obviously my first big block win was emotional. So, because you look up, that's something you always want to do, and when you get to accomplish it, it means a lot.
Yeah. Have you ever had a serious crash? How much damage did you and your car experience?
The biggest crash I had was probably not at this track, but at Port Royal Speedway. I didn't flip, but I backed into the wall, and it bent the rear clip, and I hit my knee off the steering box, and that one hurt. I don't think I had a concussion from it, but that was probably the hardest hit I took because we were just about wide open, and then I backed into the wall at Port Royal, which is, I think, just as big, if not a little bigger than Lebanon here. So we were carrying some speed, but that's probably the most serious crash I've had.
What's the biggest last-minute fix you've pulled off?
I would say probably when we found a fuel pump that was leaking fuel about 10 minutes before our feature a couple of years ago. One of the guys saw fuel leaking out, and that would have ruined our night. So the guys changed that, and literally they waited an extra 2 minutes for us to fix it, and we ended up, and I don't think we won that night, but I think we got a top 3 out of it. So it was a very much where we would have had a horrible finish, but the guys did a great job and got us to a decent finish.
Yeah, that's good. Do you have a specific strategy for dirt tracks?
Not really. We go in it with, you got to be patiently aggressive, and you have to definitely be aggressive, but there's times that you can lift, and sometimes other drivers don't think that, but it's basically you have to just react to stuff. If you think about something, it's probably too late because everything's split second. So you have to get to the spot where your head's clear. You just got to go out and do what feels right and natural, and you kind of just react to everything.
Do you watch footage of your races to improve?
More than I should. Yeah, that's where you really learn, because how I feel in the car might not necessarily look that way to my guys, and sometimes I feel like the car is very good, and they see the car and they're like, it doesn't look good. But so there's definitely a correlation between what I feel to what I see, and I can maybe make a couple adjustments. And actually I look at a lot of pictures as well. I try looking at pictures, zooming in, seeing how things are acting on the track, because obviously I can't see what the car looks like, right? And you could tell a lot by what the car is doing by looking at pictures and seeing where things are at different positions. So
what's something fans don't realize about dirt track racing?
I think of how expensive it actually is, and how much work goes into it. I think the misconception is that they think of like a cheap 4-cylinder car, not a cheaper car that you could buy, and it doesn't. You just wash it off and you go racing again. But I would say there's so much. Our big blocks now to build brand new is about $80,000, and We spent a couple years ago at a car owner that spent about $100,000 on a car and motor just before even expenses to race the car. So, and plus the time, like I said, there's so much time involved to maintain a car, to make sure it's proper and to do your best. That the time and money, I don't think fans, even at this level, which big blocks is the biggest level you can get for these type of cars, but how much time and money is invested.
Is there anything else you would like to add?
No, other than I just got to thank all my sponsors for obviously for this, my car owners, my parents, my family, you guys for doing this. This is very cool, and this doesn't happen all the time, so thank you guys.
Thank you.
All right.
We have with us here,
Cam Vanzant,
with the car,
number 313, Sportsman.
to answer some of our questions. So, our first question, what type of car are you running, and do you race multiple cars?
I run one car, it's a 602 crate engine Sportsman, limited Sportsman.
Okay, how long have you been racing at Lebanon Valley for?
This is my first year on this track, and then the go-kart track here, I've raced 3 years on that before this year.
Do you have any wins here at Lebanon Valley?
So at this track, I do not have a win yet, but at the other track, I have 30 wins and 2 championships.
Has anyone in your family raced before you?
Yes, my uncle raced this exact car last year and a couple years before that, and then my uncle and my dad, when they were younger, both raced dirt bikes.
Okay, who taught you how to race?
It's kind of a combination. I mean, my uncle gives me advice. I get advice from everybody, watching, and just the whole, everybody giving advice, It's a lot of watching it on TV, coming here, watching it. I've been watching it, coming here every weekend since I was probably 5.
Where was the first place you've ever raced?
The go-kart track back there, and then I raced here, and those were the only 2 tracks I've ever raced at.
How much of a hobby is racing to you?
Racing is pretty much my whole life. That's pretty much all I think about. It's my favorite thing, and so.
What's the biggest highlight in racing you've had?
Probably winning my championship last year.
Have you ever had a serious crash?
No, I've had a crash even on this track, but back at the go-kart track, I had a pretty bad crash last year. Didn't flip or anything, but just put a couple dents in the car last year.
What's the biggest last-minute fix that you've had to do in your car?
Well, we have it's called a race receiver right there. It's right in that pocket right there, and it kind of keeps track of your lap times, and it helps the people up front track where you are. And we didn't have that in last week, and my uncle had to quick slide it in right going out the track.
Do you have a specific strategy for these tracks?
This dirt track, it's really fast, so you just kind of got to keep your speed, momentum, and that's it.
And do you watch footage of your races to improve?
Yes, we watch a lot of footage of racing. We buy the race and we watch each race every week, so yes.
And what's one thing that fans do not realize about dirt track racing?
I don't think they realize how serious it is. You're going over 100 miles per hour into a turn, and then it's really serious and it's dangerous. So you always got to realize that and what these drivers could be going to.
And is there anything else you would like to add?
I want to say thank you guys for interviewing and going around, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And Cam Vanzant, 2 laps away from the opportunity to do just that.
So at this track, I do not have a win yet. So
with us here?
Hi, Ray Hall, driver of the number 72 Gary O'Brien Property Service sponsored 358 small block car.
To answer some of our questions. What type of car are you running? Do you race multiple cars?
I do have a sportsman car and a small block car.
How many years have you been racing at Lebanon Valley for?
Probably close to 25, maybe a little bit more.
How many career wins do you have at Lebanon Valley?
I have probably around 35.
Did anyone in your family race before you?
Yeah, my dad raced. Yep, at Lebanon Valley too.
Who taught you how to race?
Pretty much you're self-taught. You go out on the track and you do your best. You know, you find out ways to make the car handle better and kind of teach yourself as you go.
Where did you start racing for the first time?
I was my 16th birthday at Lebanon Valley Speedway. I did a cannonball run.
Do you race full-time, or is it more of a hobby you have?
It's just a hobby for me. Yeah.
What's the biggest highlight of your career so far?
Well, I did win a Boomers race once in a street stock car, which was pretty neat because I got a nice big trophy with it. And anytime you get a win is a highlight. Yeah.
Have you ever had a serious crash? How much damage did you and your car experience?
COVID year, 2020, Middletown. We rolled over and got hit in the roof and totaled the car, and I ended up leaving with a concussion. That was probably the worst one yet far. I did break my leg about 3 years ago when the drive shaft broke and came through the car and hit me in the leg. That was pretty bad too.
What's the biggest last-minute fix you've pulled off?
Well, we had a pretty good run last week. It was nice. I was racing with Hos, who's a very good competitor, and we, side by side, I ended up getting him in the end. But it was a fun race with a fun driver.
Do you watch footage of your races to improve?
I do. Yeah, every week, sometimes multiple times.
Do you have a specific strategy for dirt tracks?
Not specific, no.
What's something fans don't realize about dirt track racing?
Well, I don't think they realize that. They think all you do is go straight and turn left, but there's a lot more to it. There's a lot of moving parts in the car that you have to deal with, and it's just a lot more to it than people watching really think.
Is there anything else you would like to add?
No, I just want to thank you for the interview and thank my sponsors, Gary O'Brien, Irish Trucking, Rob Kimberly, Fine Line Painting, and hopefully we have a good night tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, we have with us here,
Gary O'Brien,
with the car number,
57.
to answer some of our questions. The first question is, what type of car are you running?
I run a street stock class car.
Do you race multiple cars?
Not at this time, no. I used to run sportsman and some open wheel stuff, but just for now, street stock.
How many years have you been racing at Lebanon Valley?
10 to 12.
How many career wins do you have here?
With a street stock, I think 35, and an open wheel car, I think 1, maybe 2.
Did anyone in your family race before you?
No, they did not.
Who taught you how to race?
Ray Hall,
Where did you start racing for the first time?
here at Lebanon Valley.
Do you race full-time, or is it more of a hobby that you have?
More of a hobby for me.
What's the biggest highlight of your career so far?
When I won my first open wheel race.
Have you ever had a serious crash?
Not too bad, no, nothing too serious.
What's the biggest last-minute fix you pulled off?
Last minute fix. We had to switch transmissions one time before from one car to another car.
Do you have a specific strategy for dirt tracks?
Stay out of trouble.
Do you watch footage of your races to improve?
Yes, I do.
What's something that fans do not realize about dirt track racing?
How much work it really takes to do it.
Is there anything else you would like to add?
No, I think that's about it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We have with us here
Tom Dean,
with
413 Pro Stock.
to answer some of our questions. What type of car are you running?
I'm running a Pro Stock. It's just got a crate motor. It's on coil springs. Really just a stock car, pretty much. 10-inch tires.
Do you race multiple cars?
No, I only have this car.
How many years have you been racing at Lebanon Valley?
This will be my 8th year this year.
How many career wins do you have at Lebanon Valley?
Oh, I'm not even sure. 4, 5, maybe?
Did anyone in your family race before you?
No, I'm the first one.
Who taught you how to race?
I taught myself.
Where did you start racing for the first time?
Right here in the Pro Stock division.
Do you race full-time, or is it more of a hobby you have?
It's more of a hobby. We run here once a week. That's it.
What's the biggest highlight of your career so far?
It would have been 2 years ago. I won the Bubba Tanner Classic here. It's a big race supporting Bubba Tanner, a fellow racer, passed 23 laps, and we were able to beat Chad Jezio for that.
Have you ever had a serious crash? How much damage did you and your car experience?
Yeah, we've had a few, but nothing terrible. No rollovers, a couple bent clips, the usual. Nothing too crazy.
What's the biggest last-minute fix you've pulled off?
I think it was last year, I got T-boned on the backstretch and it broke the roll cage, and we were able to weld it back together and go out, and I think we finished 3rd that night.
Do you have a specific strategy for dirt tracks?
No, they're so different, and they may all look the same, but the track surfaces are all different, and it's really got to be suitable for the driver. Every driver is going to be different when it comes to setup, and we just really like to, go out and, in hot laps and see how the car is, make sure the car is good, and then from there on, we'll tune in between, heat races and features, and try and make the car the best it can be.
Do you watch footage of your races to improve?
Of course, yeah. I usually my wife usually buys it at home because I got a couple of young kids, so she stays home with the kids, and she'll buy it on TV. So I'll get home that night and I'll rewatch it and see where I can improve, and try and get better every week.
What's something fans don't realize about dirt track racing?
It's the time it takes. I'd say, it's you get out of work, you work a regular job to support your hobbies, and then to work on this thing and get it dialed in every week, it's another job, another 8 hours a day. You're washing, cleaning, checking every nut and bolt, making sure nothing's loose, making sure you're not going to be in anyone's way or be harmed to anyone. So it's really a very time-consuming sport.
Is there anything else you would like to add?
Nope. I enjoy what I do. It's a blessing that I got all these sponsors, and they are able to make me, help me do what I like to do. So it's pretty cool. It's like a big family here, honestly.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
We have with us here
Frank Twing,
with car number
317.
to answer some of our questions. Our first question: what type of car are you running, and do you race multiple cars?
Pro stock, and no, this is the only car.
How many years have you been racing at Lebanon Valley for?
This is my 40th season.
How many career wins do you have at Lebanon Valley?
I think I just hit 35.
Did anyone in your family race before you?
Yep, I had an uncle did. I had another uncle who raced. I had a cousin who raced, a brother, another uncle. So there's been quite a few of us here.
Who taught you how to race?
I learned on my own, back roads in the country.
Where did you start racing for the first time?
Here at Lebanon Valley.
Do you race full-time, or is it more of a hobby that you have?
No, it's a hobby.
What's the biggest highlight of your career so far?
I have a couple. Winning a Super Dirt Week and winning the Jimmy Langenbach Memorial Race.
Have you ever had a serious crash?
Yeah, a couple. Nothing that I got hurt too bad.
What's the biggest last-minute fix you pulled off?
Boy, I really don't know. Not even sure, to be honest with you.
Okay, do you have a specific strategy for dirt tracks?
Keep the car as straight as possible and be able to be foot to the floor as much as possible.
Do you watch footage of your races to improve?
A lot.
What's something that fans do not realize about dirt track racing?
I don't think they understand the characteristics of it, what goes into it, the amount of technology that's involved these days.
Is there anything else that you would like to add?
No, just other than the fact, hope we see a lot more younger people get into it and the sport survives and keeps going for a while.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We have with us here
Andy Mcketti.
with
What's that?
with
Dirt modified.
4-car to answer some of our questions.
Gotcha.
What type of car are you running? Do you race multiple cars?
Yeah, I have different cars. They're all big now cars. We race small blocks, big blocks, open small blocks, all kinds of different things.
How many years have you been racing at Lebanon Valley for?
I think this will be my 24th year at Lebanon. Probably 35 years total.
How many career wins do you have at Lebanon Valley?
I've got a lot of wins, over 250.
Did anyone in your family race before you?
Oh, my father did. My uncle, Danny Watson, he raced. Now his son Jeff races. Yep. So it's always been in our blood.
Who taught you how to race?
Who taught me?
Yeah.
You know what? We just had to go out there and watch the good guys and try to get it. Try to make it happen.
Where did you start racing for the first time?
Cobleskill, New York, and a go-kart.
Do you race full-time, or is it more of a hobby you have?
I was full-time up until this year, and we kind of backed it down a little bit. So, we're just having fun right now.
What's the biggest highlight of your career so far?
Biggest highlight? Probably winning Mr. Dirt, multiple times, and that's always a big one to win.
Have you ever had a serious crash? How much damage did you and your car experience?
Some concussions and a lot of damage, a lot of unsprung weight.
What's the biggest last-minute fix you've pulled off?
Biggest last minute, chaining up a front axle to win a championship.
Do you have any specific strategy for dirt track?
No, you just got to be smooth and steady and, pick them off as they come.
Do you watch footage of your own races?
Yeah, we watch and see where the car's good, where it's not, and then we'll kind of go to work from there.
What's something fans don't realize about dirt track racing?
The washing. A lot of washing, a lot of cleaning.
Is there anything else you would like to add?
Just take a look at all the sponsors on the car. Just couldn't do it without them.
Thank you.
Sit back and relax as we now are going to celebrate our nation's independence for the 249th time. Happy birthday, America, as now our fireworks portion of the program. when I tell everyone I was born by God's dear grace in an extraordinary place where the stars and stripes and eagles fly. It's a big old land with countless dreams. Happiness ain't out of reach. Hard work pays off the way it should. Yeah, I've seen enough to know you got it good. Where the stars and the stripes and the eagles fly. There's a lady that stands in a harbor for what we believe. And there's a bell that still echoes the price that it costs to be free. I pledge allegiance to the flag. And if that bothers you, well, that's too bad. You got pride and you're proud to do. Hey, we could use some more like me and you. With stars and stripes and eagles fly. If there's a lady that stands in a harbor for what we believe, and there's a bell that still echoes the price that it costs to be free. No, it ain't the only place on earth, but it's the only place that I prefer. To love my wife and raise my kids, hey, the same way that my daddy did.